G and Matty on Big G Country.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Big G and Matty.
Well, nice to be back, and it's nice to see you again. Welcome to another show. And here we go again. It seems like another wave of this pandemic, but we are seeing some light at the end of the tunnel now with these vaccines out there. And if you get a chance to get the vaccine, take it, okay? Get the shot in the arm. It's going to be great for everybody. Hopefully we'll see an end to this, and we'll get back to some sort of normalcy before too long.
Yeah, and if you've had some medical conditions in the last little while, you've had to go into a strained situation with the hospitals and medical clinics. Like, for example, Maddie's wearing sunglasses today. So why are you wearing those sunglasses?
Yeah, I'm not wearing these sunglasses to look cool or be cool or anything. I just went through a cataract surgery and had the left eye done in January, and this eye was just last week. So they said, don't let the light, and we do have lights in here, and don't strain your eye and take your precautions with it. So that's exactly what I'm doing. And speaking of the pandemic and frontline workers, I had a friend of mine just come out of the hospital, and Ronnie Young, and he had a heart procedure, and he wanted me to come on and thank all of the doctors and nurses, the volunteers at the hospital that all do so much for us. And I would like to give a shout out to, he said, a very nice young lady, a nurse named Bella. So, Bella, all the best to you and all of the doctors and nurses, everybody at KGH. We've both been in there, Biggie, and they're taking so good care of us. Thank you for what you do.
Well, I want to give a shout out to my daughter, Tracy.
Of course. Yeah, she's on the front line.
Yeah, she's a nurse, and she's over at Extended Care and looking after the people who really are at the top of the list of were very vulnerable during this whole pandemic. But now there's a light at the end of the tunnel. We've got the shot in the arm coming, and let's hope that get us back to, I don't think we'll ever get back to normal, do you?
Well, let's just say help is on the way with these vaccines, and hopefully we'll get back on our feet as far as our lives are concerned, our community, our city, our country. It's just around the corner.
Yeah, like sporting events and outdoor activities and getting together with the family for anniversaries and birthdays and Christmases and celebrations, and summer's around the corner. I mean, come on, we need to kind of get out. People are. I mean, this whole pandemic thing, people are putting on weight.
Oh, hey, you mentioned that.
No mention of. I'm not going to throw any stones. Let me tell you.
Who's a better example of the COVID bump than you and I?
Exactly.
So, but we're not the only ones going through this. And
yeah, the biggest trip that we've been taking to the refrigerator. Come on.
But it's not only humans that are affected by this. You're an animal lover. I'm an animal lover.
Yeah.
There's such a thing. Somebody is actually operating a fat farm for dogs.
Oh, come on. A fat farm for dogs?
Mm-hmm. I kid you not.
My Maggie's going to be watching this, and she's sitting there, and I go in, the doctor tells me I'm overweight, Hey, what are you wearing your glasses today? Of course. My dog goes in, they weigh my dog, and you know what the vet said? You know what the vet said to my dog?
What did the vet say?
The vet said, would one of you please get off the scales? To my dog. I mean, come on. So tell us about the fat farm. Well, this is great.
Yeah, we're going to play it for you right now, and here we go. And, I should mention, too, the fact that, God bless her, our dog Lady, she was a fair size, a black lab, and not exactly a Chihuahua, although she looked like she ate a Chihuahua. But I think you're going to enjoy this story, so sit back and relax. And here we go with a story about dogs for you animal lovers. Moore's Animal Inn in Morristown, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Running a fat camp for overweight dogs.
What?
Yeah.
I think my dog Lady fits into that category.
Yeah, I think your dog
But
does.
a 110-pound black lab,
Actually-
we call her Orca.
No, that's funny right there. Yeah.
Yeah, funny but true.
Or give the dog.
The camp runs the dogs through a daily routine of Pilates,
Oh, you're gotta
Pilates and Doga.
be,
I guess that's takeoff on
yoga with a
yoga.
dog.
Yeah, Pilates and Doga.
Yeah, okay, we get
Plus,
it.
there are nature hikes for the dogs.
Oh, really?
Treadmill runs, facials, massages, and swimming.
All they got to do is
And they play a game called Barco Polo. A staffer will shout, Barco! And whichever dog paddling pooch barks the first gets the toy.
Yeah, already, that's good.
And they've got dog treats made from organic granola, string beans, and carrots.
Well, sounds like the fat farm we went to, Matty.
Morris Animal Inn charges only $59 a day
Yeah.
or $249 for 5 days.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a doggy fat camp for people with overstuffed bank
Oh,
accounts.
yeah.
And at nighttime, you know what happens with the dogs?
I have no idea.
Well, they row across the lake and they panty raid the cat cabins. and here's how it really works. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I didn't fall off the turnip truck. Here's how it really works.
Yeah.
You drop the dog off as soon as you drive away.
Yeah.
They start starving your dog.
Yeah, exactly.
So there you go.
You know, I got to ask you this. I just got to. I mean, how do you know when a dog is too fat? I mean, how do you know?
I'll tell you, Biggie.
Yeah?
I'll tell you how you know your dog is too fat.
Okay, tell me how I know my dog is too fat.
When it can't lick itself anymore.
Well, I got to tell you, Betty, I got to send my dog to that fat farm for dogs.
Well, I'll tell you, we're all animal lovers
Oh,
here.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and well, I can't say it's a dog or a cat, but we do have another story for you. Talk about a weird and wacky, about an owl that got a little tipsy.
An owl that got tipsy?
Yeah, if you can imagine that, a drunken owl. That's going to be coming up on the show in a little bit later
Yeah.
too. But right now,
we're going to introduce you to two of the five guys that we have loved from the first time we met them. Do you remember the first time we met these guys?
yes, I do. Very much
They came
so.
into our studio in Kingston, Ontario here, and they actually didn't perform. They came into the boardroom, and the five brothers called the Hunter Brothers. They were from Saskatchewan, and they harmonized in the boardroom to us DJs.
Ooh, there's a couple billion people in the world, yeah, and a million of
And when we walked out of that boardroom, we said, these brothers are going to be big in Canada.
Oh.
And guess what?
Super talented family. So we're going to have a little chat with the Hunter brothers. Actually, two of the brothers are going to join us right now. So let's say hello to Ty
and JJ.
It's so good to be chatting with y'all again.
Nice to see you guys again. And we've got two of the five famous Hunter brothers. So how are things out west?
Well, first of all, you got the best two, so that's good for you guys on that end. No, things are pretty good. It's been an abnormally warm winter, and so most of the snow is gone. We already are gearing up for seeding here on the farm because that's also part of our lives, as you know, along with the music. And so things are good. Trying to soak up the last few family days before, or a couple of weeks before it gets really crazy. But no, we're doing well overall. Thanks.
You know, we, on our program and here in Eastern Ontario, we have always supported the beef farmers. We've supported the dairy farmers. We promoted, drink Canadian milk, eat local beef. And I know now we need to have Western grain, come our way as always. And you guys, how big's the farm there? Now, I know you don't talk about acres there, but how big is your farm?
Well, do you want us to give you the answer that Dad used to always give growing up? He'd say sometimes too big and sometimes not big enough.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's right.
Yeah.
Depending
No, we farm about 22,000 acres, and and that's a decent sized farm. It's a grain farm, but there are a lot of us as well, and so when you divide it up, I guess it's not nearly as big as it seems because we're all doing it together. But yeah, we're fortunate to have the farm, and we sure love doing it.
Well, that's a sizable portion of land right there for sure. You never know; they might make a TV series about you guys now, like that Yellowstone, right?
Yeah.
Have you checked that out yet?
Yeah, my wife and I are watching it right now. We just started this last week, so
okay.
You got a long way to go.
Yeah.
I wouldn't draw a direct parallel, but there's certain similarities between Mr. Dutton and our father.
Well, you don't ride the horse out to the range. I saw JJ in the tractor. Believe me, that's not a horse.
Yeah.
And
got a few horses under the head of that one.
And then to find out that Brock literally flies the plane, built and flies that plane. I can't believe that stuff. You guys are amazing.
Well, everybody kind of has their strengths, and I was just talking with somebody about that this morning, how you utilize each other's strengths and help refine each other, because we're definitely different. One builds airplanes, and one likes agronomy, and one likes poetry, and one, it's just you have all sorts of things under the sun here at the Hunter Farm. So you bring those things together, and that's what I guess makes the story.
Ty, you're the youngest, so
yeah.
What type of music influence came along, and I don't want to pit any one hunter against the other, but you seem to be the front guy of the group, and the chemistry that the five of you that have on stage. I can tell, and I think anybody who's from a family of sorts can tell that the chemistry's there. Now, family's family, I know, and there's sometimes some little grading there. But so when did you boys finally decide, and how did you get started as a 5-brother group to say, you know what, maybe we could do this professionally? When did that start?
Well, I'll grab that just because when we first started performing, Ty wasn't even born yet. We have pictures of performing as a family on stage. There was a little gospel festival that started in our area, I think the year or two before Ty was born, and we got invited to sing as a family group, and we performed, prepared our little 15-minute set, and that's kind of where we got our start. That snowballed into, this community event and this, graduation thing and this church thing, which then grew into, festivals kind of throughout Western Canada in the summertime, and we'd go away, play hockey all winter with our respective junior pro teams, come back to the farm, put the crop in the ground, and then we're kind of weekend warriors throughout the summer. But then when we hit our teen years, I was about 14 when I picked up a guitar, and it was shortly after that that Dusty wanted to play drums, and Luke picked up a bass because we didn't have a bass player, and Brock liked guitar, and Ty, right from a young age, loved kind of, just as a little guy, he would grab the mics and try to, get out front and sing. And so we kind of fell into those things. We played music together right from, when we were young teenagers. And then when we retired from playing hockey, so one by one, and that's a whole story in and of itself, but one by one, we made our way back to the farm after our hockey careers were over. And we just were talking one day. We actually did kind of this Christian pop thing, and it just stylistically didn't fit. And we had people saying, "Are you guys a country band?" And we're like, "Well, maybe we should be." And with the harmonies and growing up on the farm, listening to country radio, and our roots being here, and even a lot of country music having its roots in gospel music too. There's tie-ins there as well, and there's all these avenues that we just said, this really is us. And so we just took the plunge. We knew the High Valley guys really well. Brad helped us get a start. He introduced us to his producer, helped get us songs, get us started, introduced us to our now manager and record label head, Ron Kitchener, and it just kind of snowballed from there. And we, as soon as we started playing country music, we really, as a group, I should say, we all have musical influences and tastes that span outside the country genre, but collectively as a group, country really is where it started to make sense for us as a band.
All right, so let's talk about now. This program will air right after your brand new single is being released across Canada, called "Been a Moment" or "Been a Minute" or "Bean a Minute." I got to get the pronunciation, get it right here, Matty, right? But so now you're starting to write your own music and get influenced also. So do you do it collaboratively, or how do you create a song?
I mean, it's taken different complexion with every single write, it seems. Sometimes all 5 of us are in a writing room. Sometimes there's 2 of us. The last season, it's been Zoom writes. So you're hopping on writes with people from different locations. I think I was just on a write the other day with someone from Toronto and from Nashville, Ontario and Nashville. And so it's shifted and changed so much.
Toronto is in Ontario.
Toronto is in Ontario. Yes, that's correct. So I think it just depends on the write. Sometimes one brother will have an idea. Next day, another brother will have an idea. And so it kind of takes its own form every time. There isn't one specific way, I would say, that we write.
First of all, we're hopefully going to see the end of this pandemic, and relief is on the way, obviously, with these vaccines. But how's it affected your lives so far?
Well, it really depends on what aspect. When it comes to the farm, not a whole lot changed in terms of still putting the crop in the ground, because we were doing that anyway. And so that has continued to carry on its course. We were able to spend, if we're looking at the negatives seem to outweigh the positives in a lot of ways. But in terms of the positives of the last year, we've been able to spend a lot of time with our families, which being on the road sometimes can, you spend a lot of time away. So that's been one positive that way. But in terms of the music, it's been, just speaking on a personal front, very, very challenging the last year. Not being able to perform. That's probably, it's one of our favorite things to do. And so you don't really know exactly what's coming in the next chapter. You always have to be prepared, and you have to be thinking outside the box. And so one of the ways that we've been able to connect with fans and interact has been through social media. And so you had mentioned the little sea shanty that we had done with JJ driving up with the tractor, and just trying to find new ways to connect with people in the ways that we can, because we really don't know what shows are going to look like this next year. We're still waiting to hear what's on the books for festivals. And so in the meantime, we've been able to create new music, to write new lyrics, to create content that will hopefully connect. And then as soon as we're able to perform again, I'm out the door. I'm ready. I'm there.
Yeah, I guess so. I bet you can't wait to jump into that bus and get out there and perform in front of a live audience again.
Oh my goodness. There's nothing quite like it.
Well, if you're anywhere in the area, we'll be there to see you. That's for sure, guys. Listen, Ty, JJ, thank you so much for being a part of Big G and Matty. And, we just look forward to seeing you again.
Well, thank you so much, guys. We've appreciated you since the first time we met you, and you've been supportive of us and encouraging us along the way. And as a new artist, when we were first coming in, you really need that. You need somebody to believe in you and somebody to stand behind you. And you guys did that from day one, and so thank you.
Well, thank you for joining us, and say hi to the brothers.
We absolutely will.
Thank you so much.
Take care, boys. Well, there you go. The Hunter brothers with Big G and Matty, and it's nice to hear from those boys. I'll tell you, they are very articulate, those young men.
Yeah, they sure are. And like they say, they've been brought up from day one, and that's what it takes today. I mean, it seems you can't just be an artist, you have to be an entertainer. And boy, if you want to see 5 brothers that know how to entertain, you go see the Hunter brothers when they're in your area for sure. You'll love them. And not only that, they are decent, Christian, young, hard-working Canadian boys.
Yep, good old Canadian boys.
That's right, that's for sure. Well, let's have another laugh. I'm ready for another laugh here on the Big G and Matty Show. What do you think, Matty?
All right, we mentioned it earlier. Are you ready for this story? And I know it's hard to believe, but it's true. Here's the story about the drunken owl. Let's give it a listen.
Story about, pretty good at drinking beer?
Yeah.
How about this owl's pretty good at drinking, too?
An owl.
A drunk owl.
A drunk owl? Is this like one that's in captivity, or?
No. German police in the city of Pforzheim said yesterday they discovered a drunken owl. Woman was walking her dog and she saw the bird sitting by the side of the road, oblivious to passing traffic. One of its eyelids was drooping. There were 2 little bottles of snaps in the immediate area. Police concluded that the owl was drunk. It was taken to a local bird expert who treated alcoholized birds.
Really?
Your bird was released once it sobered up. Alcoholized birds?
Wow.
I mean, can't we just say the bird was drunk?
Yeah.
Oh, there's Matthew. Did you see him over at the Christmas party? He was alcoholized.
He sure was.
How drunk was this owl?
Yeah, how
Well,
drunk?
enough to make its head spin. Instead of saying, whoo, whoo, the owl was saying, whoo, boy. You know what? And just when they come up with the alcohol theory,
Yeah?
the owl fired off a joint. How drunk was this owl?
How drunk was he, Matty?
It was so drunk it made a pass at a crow.
There you go. The drunken owl making a pass at a crow, eh,
Oh,
Matty?
hard to believe, isn't it? So a blue jay, you better watch out. He might hit on you
Oh,
too.
man, I tell you. Listen, thanks for being with us. That just about wraps up another edition of Big G and Matty. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You see it pop up on your screen there. We need every viewer that we can get. We really appreciate it. We've managed to get over the 4,000 views, and we're headed upwards. And by the way, we just got some good news that our podcast is now in the top 50 in all of Canada. You can also go to our podcast and check us out. Now, listen, next time here on the show, we're going to be really excited to have a talented Canadian group called the Western Swing Authority with us.
Oh, you're going to love this group. They are top of the heap as far as swing music is concerned, but it's not just a swinging music. They have a touch of everything in their group,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think you're going to enjoy it. We'll have some of their music for you. And we're sort of going to spring into spring as well, because the weather is changing, and we want to get outside and enjoy. And, well, we're going to do just that for you next show, so you don't want to miss it. We'll have some weird and wacky, and Jimmy the Janitor might pop in again, too, next show. So we'll see you then. Thanks for joining us, and once again, look at the screen. It'll tell you where to go. Don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for being with Big G and Matty on Big G Country.
Big G and Matty on Big G Country.